We're getting the latest on crime spikes in some of America's largest cities. Shocking acts of deadly violence in LA and New York have raised alarms about crime, homelessness, and mental health. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the story. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. As the nation struggles with the recent surge in violence, there have been a number of tragic attacks by strangers targeting victims that they did not know in two of our nation's biggest cities. And it's raising uncomfortable questions about the randomness of violence in this country. Police say the suspect identified last night as Sean Lavelle Smith can be seen here in the surveillance video, casually shopping in a city store. Authorities saying he's wanted in connection with the murder of Brianna Kupfer. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous, is highly likely to be using public transportation, and if spotted, should not be approached.
We are topping over $250,000 for the capture and conviction of the suspects. This is important to bring more attention to this crime and to get more public response.
The reward coming after a tragic case of stranger violence. The UCLA grad student was working by herself in the middle of the afternoon at this high-end furniture store in Los Angeles. Authorities say the suspect, believed to be homeless and seen here on surveillance footage, walked in and stabbed her and then left through a back door. Kupfer's father speaking with us overnight.
It's the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. She was genuine and she was caring, she was loving, and she wanted things to be better.
This individual responsible for this vicious, senseless, and brutal crime, it walks amongst us.
That same day, a 70-year-old nurse, Sandra Shells, waiting for a bus in downtown Los Angeles, attacked by a different man who police also believe was homeless.
It's sad to hear, getting ready to retire, and this is what happens.
Los Angeles, like many other cities, has been gripped by a surge of violence in the past 2 years. In LA, homicides in 2021 were up more than 50% compared to 2019 before the pandemic. And in New York, 2 days after the attacks in Los Angeles, Michelle Go was pushed onto the tracks of an approaching New York City subway car, allegedly by this man.
Push the woman on the tracks? Yeah.
Investigators say he is homeless and emotionally disturbed with several prior arrests. But are the homeless any more dangerous than anyone else? According to LAPD open data, about 10% of the city's nearly 400 homicides in 2021 had a homeless suspect. But experts stress there is no national data suggesting that the homeless commit more acts of violence than the general public. And advocates for the homeless say people in that community are often the victims of crime.
What we've seen lately are just some nationally televised incidents that gathered a lot of national attention, and rightfully so. They're isolated incidents and nothing more than that. I really think it's important that we go back to providing more services for mentally ill individuals, particularly the homeless. And I think that that's part of the reason why we're starting to see individuals who are kind of stepping out of the norm, engaging in these violent crimes.
Pierre, the other big factor here, this surge of crime has coincided with the pandemic.
George, the spike in violence was pretty much in all parts of the country. There's not enough national data on crime involving the homeless to make any conclusions about trends for that population. What we do know is that the pandemic played a role in the overall spike, and that people in services have been stressed, and that impacts the homeless too.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.